Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and it is Sunday, so we are doing breaches of the week. Now, this first data breach comes from Sal Costanza, a colleague of mine, and Sal, thank you very much for pointing this out. I am always a fan when people send me information, especially on data breaches and other major vulnerabilities, and so Sal, I appreciate it. The company we're going to be talking about is Metatab. Now, they are an electronic medical software maker, and they work with hospitals, doctors, pharmacies, etc. But one of the other things that Metatab does is they actually run a secure fax service for health individuals, health organizations. And if you work in healthcare, you know that faxes are actually still a very major thing. They didn't secure their fax server, and from March 2018 until recently, over 6 million medical faxes were exposed, which means there is going to be an entire slew of hospitals, doctors, offices, pharmacies having to declare HIPAA breaches because HIPAA BA, business agreements. Here we go. So, Sal, thank you for pointing that out. The next tip actually comes from Andrew Adams. Andrew, thank you very much. I really appreciate this one as well. This actually is a data breach that is so severe that the article couldn't actually name the company. But here's what they do. If you don't know, you can go download an app, install it onto a phone, or let's say your suspected cheating spouse's phone, or let's say your employee's phone or computer, and it will record everything they do. Text messages, phone calls, pictures, you name it. It all gets recorded and gets sent to the cloud. You know where I'm going with this. This company had a data breach, and that basically exposed all of the pictures online. So it really wasn't a breach so much as it was a misconfiguration in security. And there were 2 folders that were publicly exposed that had over 95,000 pictures in it and over 25,000 audio recordings. And let me tell you, the pictures, very risque stuff. So obviously that is a very sensitive data breach. Hopefully that has been fixed. And if I ever find out the name of that company, I will definitely let you guys know. Moving on, and again, Andrew, thank you for that tip. Moving on, we're heading to Champaign, Illinois. Now, there is a place called Papa Del's Pizza Factory, and if you've eaten there between May 9th and September 30th of 2018 and used your credit card, it could have been compromised. They believe credit card numbers, expiration dates, and security codes were all compromised and stolen by hackers. Now, Papa Del's has come out and said they believe a third-party vendor that does quote-unquote dial-in work on our computers, old school, was to blame. So I'm guessing some local IT company with a lack of security protocol went ahead and got them compromised. I could be wrong, but if you've eaten at Papa Del's, heads up on that. Moving on, we're going to be talking about Google, specifically Google Photos. Google Photos apparently was exposing basically the metadata on your pictures. And so there was a flaw that could have been exploited to gain the metadata on the picture, not necessarily the picture itself. And this is actually very interesting because metadata can have things like your name, your GPS location, other kinds of taggings. And so it's actually very sensitive. Now, Google has come out and said that they have patched this flaw. So hopefully you are secure now, at least from there. Moving on, we're going to be talking about FEMA. Now, this is the Federal Emergency Management Agency of the United States. They just declared a breach of 2.3 million disaster survivors when their subgroup, their division, the Transitional Sheltering Assistance, basically had a data flaw, had a security flaw, and 2.3 million survivors of natural disasters had their personal and banking information exposed thanks to FEMA. So heads up on that if you have ever had to use FEMA services. And if you have, I'm very sorry, not because you've had to use FEMA services, it's because you've probably been through some kind of horrific disaster like a hurricane. So chin up. Moving on, we're going to be talking about Nokia. Now, Nokia comes from Finland, and Finland's data protection government outfit, whatever they call it, is actually investigating whether Nokia branded phones have breached the data rules since basically their handsets were sending information to China. Now, here's what's going on. The company said in a statement, and I've got notes here, that it mistakenly included the device activation software for Chinese phones in a single batch of Nokia 7 Plus phones meant for other countries. However, that data was never processed, was never personally identifiable, and they basically fixed it in a software update in February of this year, and quote-unquote nearly all phones already have that patch. And so if you have a Nokia 7 Plus, when you activated it, your stuff might have been sent to China accidentally, and Nokia is obviously saying, well, it was never processed, but here we are. And so hopefully your Nokia phone has been patched and updated, and if it isn't, make sure it is. And finally, we're going to be talking about Facebook. I did a video on them a couple of days ago regarding them storing over 600 million usernames and passwords, specifically passwords in plain text. Now, what that means is that basically you can read the password in the same way that you could have read the caption above me here of whatever I put for the breaches of the week. So basically that is completely inexcusable and unconscionable, and it just continues to add to the pile of disasters and the uncovering of so many other problems that we've had with them. In January, I published an article through Smerconish.com of Michael Smerconish of CNN called The Death of Facebook, and I chronicle all of 2018, from Cambridge Analytica to basically shafting advertising companies, to racism, to government inquiries, to basically de facto supporting a genocide by not policing their site, and on and on and on. It has been an absolute mess. And so Facebook, once again, you continue to give me at least a whole bunch of headaches. And those are your breaches of the week. Were you affected? I'm guessing you were if you're sitting here watching me on Facebook, or maybe Google, I don't know, or maybe Nokia, or maybe Metatab, or maybe any of the others. But I hope you weren't, and here we are. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.